guys, welcome to Nine Links. This is Alex, your host. Here's what I'm gonna do over the from here on out in the winter. I'll do these weekly updates on how the plants in my basement is doing, and gives you kind of a little insight to how plants develop over the winter inside the basement. So I will always come over here, start out with night blooming jasmine. As you can see, it's doing all right. You can see actually it flowered a lot more than that. I cut quite a few of them off last night because the fragrance is getting pretty strong inside the house, and you can smell it everywhere. It's I don't know, it's getting a little bit annoying with the fragrance. Anyway, so I just left a little bit flowers on there so the basement can smell like that. Everywhere in the house should smell a lot less. All right, it's doing very well. As you can see over here, the leaves are turning yellow. It's not getting enough sunlight in here. As you know, night blooming jasmine loves sunlight, and it's not getting enough sunlight, and probably the temperature is not as hot as outside, as warm. So it's turning yellow, and the leaves you can see on the floor, it drops off on there. And usually I clean the floor down here, the ground, sweep the ground about, once a week. Around this time, it's not bad, but once it get colder, the more and more plants gonna drop their leaves. So there's gonna be a lot more to do, and then by the early spring, you should not see as many leaves on most of the plants. And whatever some of the leaves that are left on the plants, usually gonna be stay till when you bring it outside. Remember, they still need some leaves for photosynthesis to keep them alive. They just most of them just get rid of some leaves to save energy. Okay. Anyway, that's night blooming jasmine right here, and that's banana shrub right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually blooming too, but the flower nowhere near as fragrant as outside. And if you can see down there on the pots, the wood sorrel is growing a little bit out of control. It's not that bad. It's just not as organized. And I'm gonna leave it as it is. I usually don't trim them as often as when I have them outside because they grow faster outside. So I'm gonna probably give it about 2 or 3 weeks and then trim it down there. And then this over here, you have a little night blooming jasmine that I propagated. This year's summer. So you can tell it's grow really fast. And then over here we have orange jasmine. I showed you on a previous video that I actually did a little prune on the seeds and stuff to get rid of seeds and flowers to keep it in shape. And over here we have the Cymbidiums, ruby chan. You can see right there all 3 flower stalks are full bloom now. Well, it's supposed to be a 4th one right here. I don't know it's right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me bring it in closer. Right there. Here, let me move this leaves out of the side real quick. You can see it right there. I actually cut it off because it's got bent on one of the wind. It's pretty windy. It kind of got knocked down, so it bent, and so I decided to cut the whole thing off to save energy. As you can see, even Cymbidium is starting to drop its flower. And another thing, an interesting thing I want to point out. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. It's these kind of sticky dew like on the flower. It's most plants like that does put out this kind of dew is to attract like insects for pollinations and stuff. But it's if I one thing about these dews, it does. I think they're sweet, sugary dew. Actually, if I put this plant outside too long, and if this were to bloom on summertime, it will attract a lot of ants. Okay, that's just put it out there. But over in my basement, there are no ants, so you can see these little dews. Like, I don't know if I can zoom in. You can see it right there. See that droplet? Let me see if I can get a good close picture of. Yeah, you see that right there? Here, let me point it out. Right below the flower, right there. You see that? On all of the flowers actually have these little things, little sugary things. Oh, it's got on my hand right now. See that? Oh, but anyway, let's continue to throw on the floor. And we have regular jasmine. Jasmine made a New Orleans here. As you can see, it try to reach for the sunlight, and it been growing new shoots coming out. And this one is pretty dangerous. It's almost got into my trap, bug trap. But you know what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna cut those two off. And look at this one. It's growing all the way up here. It's going up by the white champaga. That what they're doing right now is like, you notice when I put it outside, they grow like very bushy. When I prune them, they don't grow like that. One thing to keep in mind is that when plants needs more sunlight, they tend to grow very lengthy, like this. You see this leaf and the other leaves, the segment is so, the in between is so long. That shows you they are deprived of light. They want more sunlight, so they grow longer and put the leaf out to get more sunlight. And if you go to compare down here, you see these leaves, they grow shorter distance between each one. That means they're getting a lot of sunlight. So you can tell by just looking at plants sometimes if this plant's been living inside or outside most of the time. Like all these, they actually, because I prune it down here, you know, I always like to clean my bottom portion of the plants, keep it clean, keep it, you know, trim. So it all keep on growing on top. And I still can't believe Jasmine grow that fast. It's already like putting, oh, so many new shoots out there. Anyway, I'll probably prune, not going to heavy prune, just cut out these guys later, about next week. Like I say, try to give them a little more grow room. So I can cut them off right now, but what I do is do it one time, just come here 1 week doing the maintenance, just go over there and just take care of them. And now we are going over here. White champaga is still big, like always, and still flowering. Well, still finished flowering. All the energy it has left from the summer. Still got flowers, and it smells still pretty good. Not as strong. No, if I were to say how strong it is outside, let's rank it 10, level 10 is a max, and here it's probably about 1.2 or roughly around there. It's not that strong, which is kind of surprised for night blooming jasmine. It still smells really strong in here regardless. Anyway, so as you can see, the leaves, some of the leaves are turning, you know, I have these marks on there. It's turning brown, and like these. There's nothing to worry about. It's just when you bring it in and when you water it, it's just experience shock, and it's one to, you know, drop the leaves. You know, these kind of leaf drop is abnormal. Well, I mean, not abnormal. If the plant's outside and you see this kind of leaves drop, then it's abnormal. You shouldn't see this kind of plant drop, but leaves drop. But when you bring it inside, you see this kind of drop, it's normal. You know, it's stressed. It's, you know, you water it, and it's not getting enough time to get rid of all the water, and also it's not getting enough sunlight and temperature, so it's shocked. I think I will expect it to drop at least 2/3 of its leaf by the end of winter. All right, and let's go to the next. We'll come over on this side. All right, first of all, I got a big one right here. This is the fig that I have outside. I initially think I'm out of room in the basement. I mean, I could always make room, but in terms of a comfortable area for me to work in, this is supposed to be my little standing area when I work on stuff. But, you know, this one is very healthy and it's very big. If I were to leave it outside, it will die. And when next year when it grows, it probably grows from the bottom. Again, all these top branches, even the big ones, will die. I have so many experience where I planted in the front yard. So it's kind of feel bad. You have all these years of work, growth, and you can just get rid of it like that. So I thought about it. I said, you know what? Just trim all the leaves off. I'm going to bring it inside, let it overwinter. Anyway, that's that right there. And then the neem tree right there, I'm surprised. Last year was a lot quicker for it to drop all its leaves. This year, it seems like maybe the reflector sheet's doing well, or maybe it's doing well itself. The leaves are all still very green. I haven't dropped any leaves yet. which if it does drop, I'm gonna collect the leaves and use it as a compost. It's a good way to get rid of the old leaves. And then we have here, just a small update on the cuttings. They're doing great. Down there doing great. There's a little inside that little um, glass cabinet I built myself. Using Home Depot parts. I used to use that as a what should I say? Little greenhouse for new ceilings and stuff. I have a lid up there. I can close it down. I one point I thought about using it as a frog house to keep some frogs in there and put some sphagnum moss in there. Anyway, didn't work out. It's kind of messy to have a pet, But anyway, so I just leave it as keeping my old pots and stuff in there, and a few plants in there if I run out of room on the table. Now we're going over here. We look at the first thing we look is the little Cymbidium over there. That's a Cymbidium sume. It blooms springtime. So right now it's not. Let me get in closer. It's not doing right there. It's not doing extremely well. It's not doing bad. It's there. And then we come over here with Phalaenopsis orchid. Its roots getting very healthy. It's going so many roots going down, which is a good sign. And my jasmine cutting, if you can see the little flowers bud over there, is actually blooming. That's why I like jasmine. No matter what its age, it will bloom. It's not like some other plants when you propagate it. Oh no, the new cuttings, so you have to wait 2 or 3 years. For jasmine, you propagate it right, it'll start bloom right away. Anyway, then we have another Phalaenopsis orchid right here. As you can see, it sends out 2 flower stalks already. Like I say on my previous video, I don't know, man, how they can send out flower stalks after it bloomed not long ago. But anyway, just give you an update. And this is the newly acquired, last time I talked about. It's sweet olive tinchang. As you can see, it's getting comfortable to the pot right now. It's growing new leaves right here. One thing to notice, when the plant grows new leaves, when you just repotted it not long ago, it means it's accustomed to the pot pretty well. If you see plants dropping leaves, branch turning brown, after you repot, you either overwater or it does not like the potting mix. Okay, just a side note. Now we have this one right here. It's let me move this one away a little bit so you can see it better. This one is sweet olive, silver sweet olive, and you can see last time I only showed you a couple of blooms right here. As you can see, there's more blooms coming out, and the new leaves are growing out too. I'm pretty sure this one's pot bound already, but it's not as severe. So I'm gonna just leave it as it is. It smells really, really nice. The flower it's bloomed, but it's not opened up yet. So you can see on top, there are more right there. And if you go down a little bit, you'll see like all these shoots putting out new flower buds right there. These are flower buds. As you can see, this one right here. These are flowers. And one thing I do want to point out, I actually want to make a video about it, but I didn't. It's the pest that hitchhikers. You see these little black dots? They're all slug poops. I actually have few slugs that came in with them, and they've been running around my little, what I call this basement greenhouse. They crawling around, and sometimes I have this towels in here, and I don't see it anymore, but I washed it. But you see a slimy, shining trace they left behind. And at nighttime around 12 o'clock at night, I sometimes wakes up and come down here and take a look. I see them crawling on the outside of the pot. Best thing to do is just remove it. And the slug, 1 or 2, to be honest, doesn't do that much of damage. Its poops actually helps plants. It provide organic material to the plants. Also, it eats decomposed stuff like decomposed leaves and stuff. That's why another thing about when you're using the leaves that falls off the tree, you use those leaves as a compost. It actually helps those bugs that lives inside that actually eats the decomposed stuff. Now I do know people telling us that slug, they also eat plants roots. They love like especially Cymbidium's bulb. So that's one thing. That's why I removed it. Just can't risk it. If I don't have Cymbidium down here, I probably don't mind it, since it's gonna eat decomposed stuff and poop inside the pot, or maybe a little bit outside. It's not a big deal. It's just a little messy to clean. But since I have some beanies down here, so I decided to take it, just get a little tweezer and just pick it up and just throw it into the trash can. Anyway, now we're back to this one. It's the Chinese perfume tree, and it's doing well too. As you can see, it has a very tiny, let me see, flower buds growing out, and it's doing very well actually. But the key thing about this plant, another thing about, well, perhaps all tropical plants, not getting enough sunlight. Intensity is not strong enough. Temperature is not humidity enough. It's not hot enough. So it blooms, but fragrance is very mild. You have to put your nose right to next to the flower in order to smell it. During the hot summer days, this one and my front porch, I don't have to go so close to smell it. I can just sit there and it's pretty close to me and I can smell it right away. But anyway, that's its update. It's doing great. It puts out quite a few new branches here and there. As you can see, even the bottom, it has a bottom branch coming up, which I don't mind that much, because I typically, like I say, it's clean down here. Now, I'll probably organize a little bit, but I won't worry too much. One thing, I like this plant to grow. If it grows anything on the bottom, I'm okay with it. Chinese perfume tree has a reputation of growing very lengthy, going all the way up. So if this one grows more coming down from the bottom, I'll let it grow over the winter, and then I'll prune it on the springtime. And then we come over here to the sweet olive. This one is the gold sweet olive. Let me see. Let me double check the name. Yeah, fragrant. No, this one actually, yeah, this one's gold. The other one's scarlet. Gold is doing very well too. As you can see, it's putting out new leaves up there. And sometimes when you see few older leaves dropped off, it's fine, it's normal. That's what plants do over the winter, especially your tropical plant. You bring it into indoor, you'll give it a shock. It will not like it at first. Give it at least 3 or 4 weeks, or roughly a month, to adjust. Sometimes some plant needs more than that. But in the meantime, just make sure don't overwater. Remember, when they're dry, you water. If they are moist, like even little moist on top, you don't water. That's the rule for winter. Winter is very important. Summertime, when you overwater, the temperature is high, it's okay. Sometimes it's forgivable. It's high. It's you get lucky over the summertime, but over here in the winter time, no, lucky sometimes. Don't play on your side. Anyway, this is doing very well. Now we come over here. We're looking at the sweet olive, scarlet. Scarlet, compared to all other three, I think the worst one performance is scarlet here. And I do know, I hear from people that scarlet olive, sweet olive, tends to take a little bit more requirements, means more sunlight, more time than other ones. But it's okay. I mean, its leaves is doing all right. There are no new growth besides when I brought them in last time. So you see down here, the leaves are falling off, which is, it's normal. It's not a big deal. And then we have Cymbidium, tinchang here. It's doing very well too. I'm pretty sure next year, summer, it will bloom. But right now, when you see like this one right here, let me cut it off and show you. Just go inside. Just cut it off like that. I could have cut a little deeper in. These are normal. They're getting rid of its own leaves. You see, most of the time when you look at the plant, make sure its overall health is very well. And you see a few brown ones get, it's normal. Plants just want to say, I have energy to grow other leaves. This one, so I don't need it anymore, okay? And sometimes you look at the side here, you see that roots are doing very well. This big root right here. And all these new shoots coming out, which is it's good. It's good. The process is doing healthy. And over here we have the plant that I mentioned earlier. I think it's Logan. It's doing very well. It put out 3 new leaves. I'm surprised when it's outside. It only put out, not. I mean, it's not doesn't put out as many leaves. But down here, it's putting out a lot of new leaves. Maybe the temperature. It likes the temperature down here. In terms of sunlight, they probably need more. You can tell because the leaves are all dark green. Another thing, if your plant's leaf, it's very dark green like this, it means it's lack of sunlight. If you have plant leaf, for example, like this light green, it's doing fine. I think this Jasmine doing fine because at afternoon the light shines on this side, it gets enough sunlight. And also this one, like talked before, it might be a little bit malnutrition because of this chili pepper over here. About to say chili pepper. Anyway, chili pepper over here is taking all the nutrients. They're fighting, so it's okay. Give them a little stress, they grow better. Okay, now we just have a cuttings over here, just update. And the last one cutting over there, I think it's not getting enough sunlight. It's not dead, it's just dropping its leaf, but we'll see. And then we have a big fig over here. Like I said earlier, last video, was it? This one eventually the leaves are gonna all fall off. As you can see, it's like, see, it's a slight touch, it falls off. It's normal, I expect that. Like earlier, the figs right here, I cut all its leaves off ahead of time. So I know this one, there are a lot of leaves in here. I do not want to pick them up when I bring it into the basement. So I'm probably gonna take these leaves off. See, it's when it turns yellow, it's basically saying it's gathering all the energies from the leaves and stuff into the main stem. Just save it for the new growth next year. And since you're not getting enough sunlight or in a hot temperature, you're not growing. Might as well get rid of them. See, these are very easy to peel off. You just touch it and slightly yank, it comes off. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there are medicinal purpose to the leaves too, but I got way too many leaves down here anyway. Okay, that's just a small update. Hope you guys like it. If you have questions, just feel free to post below. I'll see you next time. Like I say, I'll start now. I'll do a weekly update and show you how my plants are doing.